All right, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Q&A video. This video was a little bit of a cop-out. I didn't feel like filming all week, and then yesterday I posted on my Instagram, asked me a question for YouTube. So we got a few questions. I didn't get a ton. I got honestly more than I thought I was gonna get because I haven't done those question things on Instagram in a long time, but I got a few questions, which is nice. And again, if you enjoy these videos, remember to like the video. If you enjoy these like sit back, chill, relax videos, also let me know. I've got my coffee, got my mic. I actually might just, this is kind of annoying holding it, so I might just clip it onto my shirt. And then I've got my phone here with all the questions, so let's get into it. All right, first question, how do you balance running and lifting? How do you find the time? Okay, so this is all new to me, the running and lifting. I've always just lifted. And how do you find the time? Honestly, I'm in a very blessed position to be able to do both and to be able to manage both. I'm 28 years old. I'm young. I don't have kids. The only responsibilities I have really are Logan, Soda, and Pig, my pets, and my work, right? I think for most people, they have a lot more responsibilities. And I understand and I recognize I'm in a very blessed position to not have a ton of responsibilities and to have a flexible work schedule and to work from home. So for me, it sounds so dumb to say, but it's like, I honestly have a lot of time and I'm just trying to make the most of it. And this is something that I want to pursue and I'm enjoying it. So for me, I've been running in the morning and I've been lifting later on in the day, kind of like mid-afternoon. I don't really like training like any later. And then I do most of my work in between those sessions, so running and the lift. So I'll do a ton of work in between those two sessions and then a bunch of work when I get home from the lift. So I'm still busy. I'm still, filling up my schedule, but I'm not coming home from the gym and having to take care of kids or pick up kids from school or whatever. I don't have a ton of responsibilities like most people do. So for me, it's a little bit easier. And again, I understand I'm in a very lucky position. I know most people don't have the amount of spare time that I do. And it's nice. I recognize that and I'm very, very blessed to be in this position. Favorite fitness brand right now? I know you used to like Alphalete back in the day. Yeah, I used to be a big Alphalete guy. Favorite fitness brands, right? Honestly, I've been rocking Lululemon. I know it's very basic and very standard, but honestly, it fits me the best, I find. It's super consistent with all of like their sizing, all of their clothing. Like it's so consistent and it's comfy as hell. I know it's expensive, but I mean, I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm buying nicer things so that they last longer, rather than buying cheaper shit to replace in a couple months. Lululemon, I still like Alphalete. I just haven't shopped with them in a long time. There's a lot of fitness brands I like. Dark Sport I really like. Young LA I really like. Like there's so many fitness brands I really like and I enjoy them. But lately the only places I've been shopping is Lulu and Nike. Like I picked up some Nike shoes lately, but yeah, I don't know. Like I've narrowed down where I shop from and what I buy. Like I said, Lululemon's just very consistent overall and I enjoy the clothing. I think it fits me well. Some other fitness brands and clothing, like that's one thing I hate about shopping online is that you don't actually know how it's gonna fit you. You can see it on the model, you can see it on their website, but then you put it on, it's like, oh, that doesn't fit me the way I thought it was gonna fit me. With Lululemon, they have stores, right? You can go in and try stuff on and see if it actually looks good on you. So I've been rocking Lulu. I know it's basic, I know it's simple, but I'm a simple guy, man. I'm basic as hell. If you weren't an online coach, what do you think you'd be doing? These are always fun questions, the what if questions. What do I think I'd be doing? Well, I went to school to become a police officer. I got my 2-year diploma in police studies. So I did want to be a cop for a really long time, and I still think that would be a really cool career. I don't think I will step into it, at least not anytime soon. I do admire that career. But to be honest with you, before I got into fitness coaching, I was a manager at a restaurant, shout out Cactus Club. I was a manager there, and I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was drinking the Cactus Kool-Aid. I was, aspiring to be, I was like, a store level manager. I was aspiring to be an assistant general manager, like climb the corporate ladder. I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I was 22, 23 at the time. And, I went to a lot of Cactus events where they kind of show you kind of the career path that you can take. I met a lot of like the big heads in Cactus. They bring you out to the head office and they do like a week-long course. Like, it was a really cool position to be in at such a young age, and really like see the path kind of like laid out for me, and like how to climb that ladder and how you can get to, $150,000 salary, working a 9 to 5 at a restaurant and have all this vacation. It was, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna climb the corporate ladder. I'm gonna drink this Cactus Kool-Aid. So to be honest with you, if I wasn't an online coach, I might still be there. But again, this is that, that game of like, what if, where would you be? What would you be doing if it wasn't for this, and this? So I'm just gonna say that I'd probably still be at Cactus. So I'm fucking happy I'm not there, right? Obviously, again, I'm in a very blessed position, and I'm happy I made the decisions that I made to quit Cactus and pursue online coaching. But to be honest with you, that was like the riskiest thing I've ever done in my life. And if it didn't work out, dude, I don't know where I'd be. If like the online coaching thing didn't work, if I didn't, end up working with DIY Body, I don't know how sustainable an online coaching route would have been for me. Obviously, with DIY Body, there's so much that happens in the back end that my boss, Dawn, takes care of that I don't think I would want to do. Like, I want to train people, I want to help people, I want to help change people's lives, which is one specific role. And then there's a specific role of running a business, right? And I was like, I'm not very interested in running the business. I just want to fucking help people. But obviously, in order to help people and reach more people and make an actual career and make money so that you can continue doing what you love, you have to learn the business side of it. You have to learn how to run the business. And, as much as it is interesting, I don't know if I wanted to do it. I wanted to just help people. I don't know where the hell I was going with that. I just started rambling. But yeah, I don't know, that's where I was. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for DIY Body. Like, if it wasn't for Dawn, like, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing. I don't know where I'd be, to be honest with you. Because if I just stayed on my own online coaching thing, I was making it work. I was on my own. Like, I was just doing my own thing for like 4 months, 5 months. And then at that point, Dawn had hired me to come onto his team. But again, like, if he never did, would my own coaching had been sustainable? Like, would I still be an online coach, or would I have been one of the many, people who start it, try it, and end up failing, and then just going back to working a 9 to 5 sort of thing, right? So I don't know where I'd be, but I'm very fucking lucky, and I'm very blessed to be in this position I'm in, and I fucking am thankful every single day. What was your toughest moment during prep? This is also gonna sound very, I don't know if insensitive is the word, but like, this prep was pretty easy for me. And I know prep is hard. I know it's tough. So I feel like weird saying that it was easy. And I feel like insensitive saying that, because I know it's very difficult for everyone. But this was my 4th prep. I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. And I managed my expectations. I managed my stress, and I managed like everything that I had control over. And I just put myself in a position where I had low stress. I had low levels of stress. To be honest with you, I can't even think of a toughest moment, because I don't know. I just kind of did it. Like, and I know this isn't like good advice, but like this is just me being genuine. Like it was easy for me, but I'm not saying my other prep, like this was my fourth one. Prep 1 and 2 were very hard. The third one was difficult. It was difficult, but it wasn't nearly as hard as the first two. And then this fourth one I did, I was like, I was chilling. Like it was very nice. It was great. I felt good. I felt healthy. I felt strong the whole time. Like I think I did it perfectly, and I managed my stress. I managed my sleep. I did everything that I was supposed to kind of help make sure that it goes as smooth as possible. And so that, you know, gave me the confidence to just kind of keep doing what I'm doing and not really look for issues and look for stress just because I'm in prep. I think obviously being in prep, it's hard, it's tough, it's a grind, but sometimes because we're in these situations, then we feel like we're not doing it correctly because we're not grinding hard enough or we're not stressed enough. It's like, oh, I'm in prep, this needs to be hard because I'm in prep, this is a hard thing. It's like, no, dude, like I felt great, I felt fine. Like I'm managing everything I need to manage, and I was able to do it pretty like seamlessly. And again, there were challenging times, but it wasn't nearly as bad as my other preps. So I think I've just been through it enough times that I know what to expect. I know how to manage things, and it wasn't all that difficult for me. And I know that sounds, I don't know if I'm using the right word, insensitive, but that's kind of the word that's kind of coming to my mind. But I don't have any like big tough moments during my other preps. I had very tough moments. I like a restrict and binge cycle, and it was just, yeah, a lot of binge eating in the first couple, but yeah, this time was totally fine. How did you start your fitness journey? Okay, this is a pretty fun one because I started going to the gym because I was playing volleyball. I played all of my school years. I played 1 year at university. I was a red shirt for my university. And I got into the gym because I was playing volleyball. I wanted to get stronger for volleyball. And after my first year at university, I realized, okay, I don't have a career in this like some of these guys do. And I'm not nearly as good as these guys. So I was just kind of like, you know what, this might not be worth my time, because it was a lot of time. It was like practice like 5 days a week, games on the weekends, like, you know, it was a lot of time. And then my second year, I was like, okay, this isn't really worth my time. I don't know if I want to continue doing this. So then I just kind of quit volleyball, stayed at the gym, and stuck with the gym for a really long time. And then I just kind of fell in love with bodybuilding, getting shredded, building muscle, getting strong, like all that jazz. So that's kind of how I started, because I was in the gym getting strong for volleyball. And then the passion for volleyball shifted into the gym and lifting weights. Do you have any hobbies or interests outside of fitness? Not really. To be honest with you, I was kind of thinking about this yesterday. I'm like, this is my whole personality, right? Like lifting, health and fitness, now like running as I'm getting into it, this hybrid training stuff. I'm like, this is my whole personality. And if you follow me on Instagram, like that's all I really post. But because like my Instagram is kind of like my business card, it's like a business for me, that's all I'm gonna post, because that's kind of what I wanna be known for in the online world, is someone who is fit, someone who's healthy, who's a coach, who can help people get in shape, all these kinds of things. So that's what I post. And that's, you know, if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, go ahead and follow me at Greg Springer. That's probably all you'll see. I do try to post like, you know, like other things that I'm doing, but for a lot of the time, it's a lot of like health and fitness related stuff. Now, when I really think about it, do I have any hobbies or interests outside of fitness? Lately, I've been super into Pokemon. And I was honestly really, I don't know if I'd say nervous to post that I've been into Pokemon, but it was just one of those things that I'm like, I don't know, maybe I was like afraid of what people would think if I was showing that I was like into like this, into Pokemon. It's like a geek, nerdy kind of thing, but I fucking love it. I was a huge Pokemon fan growing up. I played a ton of Pokemon, watched a ton of Pokemon, and then for a long time I just, you know, I grew up, you know, just adulting, And then I just kind of lost touch with it. But then as of late, like a few months back, I came across some Pokemon content on YouTube, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then I clicked it, and then ever since then, I just kind of started rolling into it and getting right back into it, and I'm loving it. And it was actually pretty funny, like when I posted something on Instagram about me playing Pokemon or watching Pokemon or whatever, I had so many people reach out and be like, oh, I play too, oh, I watch too. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you would never know all these people are into this thing. And I you know, like, this is me. Like, I was kind of scared to kind of post it because I was like, oh, people are gonna think I'm a fucking loser because I'm playing Pokemon. But I'm like, man, like, there's so many people reached out and was like, dude, I play Pokemon. I watch whatever. And I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. Cause like, I don't know, it's so fun. I love it. And it's just such a like childish thing. It's a video game, right? It's not very like, I don't know, people kind of shit on video games and stuff like that, but it's so fun. I love it. It reminds me of being a kid, and it just makes me feel, like a kid again. And yeah, I don't know. I would say, I guess Pokemon has kind of been my interest and hobby as of late. But yeah, other than that, my whole personality is health and fitness. So, can you share some tips for beginners who are just starting their fitness journey? Okay, that is a broad question. Let's say top 3. Okay, top 3 tips for someone who's beginning their fitness journey. Okay, tip number 1: sleep is more important than you think. Okay, sleep is like the foundation of all of health and fitness. Okay, I am still like learning this, not necessarily learning this, but I'm like still understanding that it's like so important, like even more important than like training and nutrition in some aspects. You can train all you want, you can get your nutrition in all you want, but if you're not getting appropriate sleep, if you're not resting, you're fucked. Okay, you're not going to see the results you think you're going to see. You're not going to move in the direction that you think you're going to. You can have all of those pieces of the puzzle in place, but if you're not sleeping, then yeah, you're not gonna see progress. You're not gonna move in the right direction. So sleep, super important. Okay, so all you beginners out there listening, get your sleep, get your rest. Like, it's going to make life a million times easier for you and better for you. Okay, I guess that can transition into training. Okay, when you're training, you don't actually need to do as much as you may think. Okay, as a kid, when I was getting into training, I guess not as a kid, but like as a teenager, getting into training, I would do every exercise there was for a bicep. So I would do hammer curls, I'd do strict curls, I would do cable curls, I would do concentration curls, like preacher curl. I would do all of the exercises in one day for that specific group because I thought the more you do, the more you grow, but it's the exact opposite. Okay, you wanna manage your volume, you wanna manage your intensity, you wanna manage all of that stuff to make sure you're getting actual good, appropriate training. Okay, this is something I've learned from Mind Pump, is that more obviously isn't always better. More isn't better. Better is better. Okay, so what that means is that there's an appropriate level of volume and intensity in training. There's an appropriate level, and what an appropriate level is what's best for you. Doing too much is not going to get you the results. Not doing enough is not going to get you the results. Doing the right amount is what's going to get you the results. Okay, it's kind of like if you were to like bake a cake in the oven, okay, and you have to bake it at 350 degrees. Bumping it up to 450 degrees is going to fuck up the cake because if you make it hotter, you think it's going to cook faster, but it's going to fuck up the cake. That's not how it's going to, it needs to be at 350 for a certain amount of time. You can't just speed up the process. So having the appropriate amount is the best amount. And then one last one, nutrition. Okay, it's obvious, it's simple, but like protein. Okay, get enough protein every single day, at least a gram of protein per pound of body weight. It's a general rule of thumb. But nutrition is huge. Okay, I think protein, carbs and fats are kind of interchangeable. You can kind of mess around with them, but protein is super important. Again, if you can train all you want, you can work out, you can do all these things, but if you're not giving your body protein, it's going to be very difficult to build muscle, to build strength. You need to give your body the building blocks it actually needs to build the muscle, to build the strength. Because if you can work out, you can train, sure, you might see some results, but you're really limiting yourself if you're not getting adequate protein. Okay, so there you go, 3 tips. What do most clients struggle with? Consistency. I think most clients, okay, here's the thing. Everybody understands how fat loss works. You need to eat less food and you need to burn more calories. Now, it sounds simple. It's not actually that simple, but when you really truly break it down, fat loss, that's how you do it. You gotta burn more, you gotta eat less. It's the same thing with trying to save money. If you're trying to save a bunch of money, you need to make more money and spend less money. That will obviously result and yield in more money, more savings. Same thing, right? It sounds simple, but it's not that simple, right? Because there's so many other factors and variables to kind of take into consideration, right? It's not that simple, although the equation to do it is simple. Consistency. Everyone who signs up into the program, who signs up for coaching, most people are obviously, out the gates really good. They're super motivated. They're very pumped to be in the program and to start their program. And you always see really good adherence in the first month or so. Okay, that's typical, it's normal. And then for some people, for some clients, life hits them, right? Work travels, kids, school, like life just happens, right? It's just normal. And I'm not here to be like, oh, you're not giving yourself enough time. You don't prioritize yourself enough. I'm like, no, I understand. Like, I get it. Like, life happens and you get thrown off. I understand. But the issue is that when people do get thrown off, it's really hard for them to kind of get back on. And for, the most part, most people who aren't, staying accountable, who don't have coaches, would be on fire for a month and then something will happen. They get thrown off and then they never get back on. It's just a constant cycle of like getting motivated, doing something, falling off for 6 months, getting motivated again, going back onto a thing, blah, blah, blah. But with coaching and having a coach like me to be able to help you navigate your shit and help you get back on track and give you some actual applicable guidance and advice, then we can help you get back on track, right? I fall off track. I get thrown off of things. I have off weeks, like it happens. And it happens to everyone. So being able to use me as a soundboard, bounce ideas off of me, or me just like talk you off the ledge pretty much, can be helpful because I'm going to help make sure that you can kind of get back on track. You're doing the shit that is actually important and what's actually going to help you get back on track, rather than people kind of running around with their heads cut off, throwing in the towel, trying again in 6 months sort of thing. So consistency, that's what people struggle with the most. What friend you think supports you the most? That was an interesting question. What friend do I think supports me the most? It's kind of funny how, I don't think I have had any of my friends, my actual friends, hire me as a trainer. And it's kind of funny because it's like when you have friends who, it's an interesting conversation. Because when if you're someone who starts a business or starts a small business, blah, 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 you want support, right? You want your friends to support you and you want your friends to, maybe hire you for something, or, you want the support because you're taking a risk, you're doing this thing, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you get friends who will ask for a discount or ask for a hookup or, these kinds of things. And it's kind of like, okay, I get it, I understand, but I don't know, would it, if I had a friend starting a business, I'd want to support them. I don't want a discount. I'm paying full price. I will help you. I will support you because this is a cool thing. I know it's risky. I know the feeling. But then I understand if a friend wanted to just help you out and give you a discount, sure, that's cool too. But I don't know. It's a weird kind of thing because then I think about it. I'm like, I haven't had a single friend, one of my close friends in my close circle hire me as a coach and trainer, which honestly might be a good thing. I don't know, I wouldn't want to do that. But I think early on, when I first started, and I was like getting my feet off the ground and like getting into training and just trying to figure it out for myself, I think it would have been nice for my friends to support me a little bit more and like have that support. Now I'm like, I don't give a shit. I have actual clients now. I don't need my friends to kind of help me out. But yeah, it's kind of like, hey, pig, get down. Pig's being a nuisance, get down. Always licking the pans and stuff. What friend do I don't know who supports me the most. I don't know. All my friends support me now, but who do I think supports me the most? I don't know. Logan's a pretty big support of me. I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that question. Cause again, the way I looked at it, it was like, well, I've never had any friends actually hire me. So like they haven't like supported me in that sense, but they all support me. Like they all, you know, want me to continue moving forward in life and whatnot. So I think they all support me. Top 5 quad exercises and top 5 hamstring exercises for growth and development. Okay, I don't even know if there's that many exercises for each muscle group. Quads and hamstrings. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna lump it all into the best lower body movements. Okay, squats, whether they're barbell squats, whether they're front squats, whether they're single leg squat, whatever. Squats, you need to squat. Lunges, whether they're walking lunges, reverse lunges, stationary lunges, you need to be lunging. What else was there? Hip hinging, okay? Deadlifts, RDLs, split squats can kind of go in there too. Split squats can also fall into squats. But I think at the end of the day, you know, you just need to be incorporating these movements and these movement patterns, squat, hinge, lunges, into your lower body routines to get overall good solid development. Hamstring development, glute development, quad development. Like when I think about it, it's like there's no one special exercise that's going to outperform the rest. I think there's better exercises, but you know, then you can also make the argument that like, I feel my quads more in a leg press than I do in a barbell squat. And it's like, okay, well, for someone, maybe because they can feel it better and they can target their quads more, maybe a leg press would be better for that person. For me, I love barbell squatting and I love doing it. Maybe I don't feel it. I don't feel it in my quads, but I like doing the exercise. I like the strength component of it, and I do it consistently. So because of all those reasons, am I going to see better leg development versus someone who's doing the leg press, who doesn't enjoy the leg press, but they can feel it, but they're not enjoying it, so then they may not go as often or they may not train as often. So there's so many different angles and so many different ways you can kind of think about it and look at that question. But I'm gonna say it right now, squats, lunges, and hinging, if you have a good balance of all those movement patterns in your lower body routines, then you're gonna be just fine, and you're training hard. My husband is prepping for his first show. I heard that they lose their libido and don't have any interest in sex as they get closer to the show. True? You and your fiance both prepped at the same time. How do you still give that physical aspect to the relationship without having sex? Okay, yeah, this is a good question. So yes, your libido does go down. The leaner you get, the more uninterested you are in sex and physical affection. I think during this time, so if your husband is prepping for his first show, obviously he's gonna want to, like, if your husband's prepping for his first show, I think you also need to be supportive of him and understand kind of like what he's going through, but he also needs to communicate with you and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through. And I mean, it sounds like you've already kind of discussed it or communicated, or at least you've learned that his libido is probably gonna go down. So I think there just needs to be like that open communication. Like he needs to be like, hey, like, I feel like shit. Like I am not interested in having sex right now. I'm lean as shit. And just remember, it's going to be like what, 4 months max, right? And I know that sounds like a long time, but when you zoom out and look at big picture, it's not that long of a time. It's a small amount of sacrifice. And it's a selfish thing, right? Like your husband's doing the show, he's doing this competition. It's a selfish thing. But if he's going to go through this and like enjoy it and, you know, going to have a good experience, he's got to have the support around him, and he's got to know that the people that he loves and the people that are around him support him, and that they understand kind of like what he's kind of going through. But again, like the communication part is huge. You know, for my fiance and I, for Logan and I, with prepping together, yeah, you just have to communicate and be like, how are you feeling? Like, do you want to have sex today, or do you want to have sex tonight? And if they say no, then it's no, right? Like, I think if you just have those conversations and you just ask those like awkward questions, like I think it just like clears the air, right? If you're able to have that conversation and just straight up be like, hey, do you feel like having sex tonight? Then it just like makes it so much easier, because then your partner's like, oh, that's what they're thinking about. No, I don't feel like I can, I don't want to. Maybe tomorrow, maybe whatever, blah, 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 whatever. Then that's fine, right? Because then now your partner knows, okay, that's what they were thinking about. It's been on their mind. Maybe if I can muster up the energy tomorrow, whatever, right? Like, I don't know, I'm no relationship expert, but this is just kind of what I have found that can be helpful in a relationship, is if you just straight up ask and communicate, because you don't know what the person's thinking unless you ask, right? Like you it's all about communication. So I hope that was helpful. I don't know if that was helpful at all, but I hope that gave you a little bit of insight. And that was it. That was all the questions. So we'll wrap it up there. I actually have a chiro appointment in 10 minutes that I completely forgot about. Thankfully, it's not very far. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed this sit down, chill, relax. I'm kind of sweating right now because I've been sitting up, like trying to hold myself up. I wanted to lean back, but then like the lens didn't look good, the wide lens. But if you enjoyed the video, like I said, remember to like the video, leave a comment down below. I enjoy doing these. I like sitting down and just talking. I think everyone's favorite topic to talk about is themselves. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like it, leave a comment. Let me know what you enjoyed, and yeah, maybe we'll do this again in the near future when I don't feel like filming other shit. So appreciate you. If you made it to this point in the video, we'll talk to you later, and peace.